Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Rosemary DeCandelo and I am the Building Certification Board Certification Manager. This is a webinar on the Certified Commissioning Professional or CCP 2015 recertification changes. Thank you for being here. Today we are going to explain the changes in the CCP recertification requirements. These changes occurred over the last 2 years and became effective in April of 2015. BCCB has adopted the Job Task Analysis and Eligibility Scheme that was developed under the auspices of the U.S. Department of Energy and licensed to us by the National Institute of Building Sciences. What this is anticipated to mean is that, in addition to other benefits, soon the federal government will prefer commissioning providers who are certified professionals under this scheme. So the CCP program has been realigned to it, the examination has been revised, and the program now also complies with the requirements of the International Organization for Standardization, or ISO, 17024-2012 standard. This is the current international standard for certifying bodies who certify persons. We are proud to announce that we have applied to the American National Standards Institute, or ANSI, for third-party accreditation to this standard and are anticipating receipt of approval soon. So what do these new scheme requirements mean for you? Well, all current CCPs will be transitioned to the new requirements by July 1st, 2017, and this is how we are going to do it. Each of you has a personal CCP expiration date. The CCP program uses rolling expiration dates based on the last day of the month and the year that you passed your exam. All CCPs have been categorized into groups based on their expiration date, and the requirements are prorated accordingly over time until the transition is complete in July of 2017. We have been working to notify all CCPs over the last year and will continue our outreach until all CCPs conform to the new requirements. So what are the current CCP recertification requirements? Well, you still must recertify every 3 years. That means completing an application, documenting continued competence in the field. Your application must then be approved by the BCCB for you to maintain the use of your credential. That hasn't changed. What has changed are the ramifications if you don't recertify by the expiration date. Please plan ahead to meet all the requirements and submit the recertification application on time or early if you meet the requirements. If a recertification application has not been approved by the expiration date, the CCP credential will be immediately suspended. The clock doesn't stop on your continued competence requirements either. They are still accruing during the suspension period as well as additional fees in order to recertify. So after the 6-month suspension, if a valid and complete recertification application is not submitted and approved, then the CCP credential will be revoked. You can check on pages 24 to 27 of the candidate handbook for these details, but more importantly, please plan to renew and let the program know where you are with all your current contact information so that when we send reminders, we find you. So what are the details of these new requirements and where do you fit in? The full mandatory requirements are 1 project and 50 points. Now, as I mentioned, the point requirements are being prorated and phased in over time, which we will cover in a minute. However, at a high level, the point requirements are comprised of 2 categories. Half of the points must be from continuing education on new developments in the industry. And with the other half of the points, you have more leeway and choices. They may be from continuing education or from other activities. What kinds of continuing education count towards your requirements? Attending webinars, conference sessions, workshops, or taking classes. Also, providing training and education yourself can count towards your requirements. It should also be noted here that the CEs must be documented by an independent third party. As you know and are familiar with, this typically means learning objectives and a certificate of completion. For example, informal lunch and learns by vendors typically do not meet this requirement. So what about the other half of the points required? Well, completing projects counts. You can do more continuing education, serving on the BCCB examination committee, or doing regulatory or code work in the industry count, as well as publishing peer-reviewed articles. And lastly, some people also choose to retest. So let's talk about how the requirements are being phased in. Until this transition is complete, all CCPs now fall into 4 groups based on their recertification due date or expiration date. Each 6 months, the requirements increase until all CCPs are transitioned by July 2017. This table can also be found on bccbonline.org. Click on CCP, then CCP recertification to find this table and download your recertification application. Here's a table that explains the prorated requirements. For example, if your CCP expires prior to June 30th, 2016, you will need 1 mandatory project, 6 continuing education points, and 6 other qualifying recertification points. Another example would be a CCP who has an expiration date of August 31st, 2016. Her expiration date falls between July 1st and December 31st, 2016. So she is in Group 2 and would need to complete the mandatory 1 project, 12 points of continuing education, and 12 points from the other qualifying requirements category. So as you can see, the point requirements increase until everyone recertifying after July 1st, 2017 meets the full level of 1 mandatory project and 50 points. If you have any questions that you need help with, please contact the office. This concludes our webinar. Thank you for joining us. Please check out our new blog on bccbonline.org and share with your networks, as well as all the benefits of being a CCP. You can email us at certification@bcxa.org for more information, or if you have questions, or give us a call. This concludes the CCP recertification webinar. Thank you.